We got the next one, Sapphire Blue, number 2. Let's see what happens. So chapter 1, we're back in time with Gwen's parents, and this is the first time that they're like on a little date, and they are not on, like, we're back in time, but also they're back in time because remember that they can travel. And so they went to the opera and they had a good time. They couldn't finish the whole opera, but now they're heading back, and the dad is like, how do I seal the deal? Like, make her my girlfriend. So he is trying to like kiss her, and has his little monologue in his head about him like asking his brother for advice, and he was like, well, what's gonna happen if she didn't want the kiss? She'll slap you, like, it's not a big deal. And so he's like, yeah, but I don't want that to happen either. Eventually he does end up kissing her. He's really in his head in this moment. He's very nervous, super cute. He sees someone behind him and he's like, okay, we need to do something because it looks like a bad guy. So he tells her, and well, he's about to tell her, and she's like, you didn't like enjoy it. And he's like, no, like, it was good. And he was like, well, Larry Coleman something said that I kissed, like, say que. And he's like, well, who's that? And then he's like, we have to talk about this later, because there's someone over there that's gonna get us. So they got interrupted, but I mean, we know they end up together, so it's totally fine. It's a super cute little moment just between mom and dad. Lucy and I forgot what his name is, but the dad, Gwen's parents, overheard the Baron, or the grandpa that like started this whole thing, tell someone, broke the rules that he made, because I guess it threw off butterfly effect. So I guess that's why Gwen's parents deviated from the plan, because then they realized that they didn't actually know anything about the plan. Like, they were in this organization, but for what? It's not even chapter 1. I said chapter 1, I'm a liar. It's the prologue. Chapter 1 is coming. So chapter 1, they got caught by the gargoyle. They were kissing in the church, in the confessional. And look how cute this is. It says, she's describing like the kiss, and like, all in her head, like, what does that mean? What are we? And then they're gonna get a taxi because they're still in the get up and they don't want to be seen like that. And he stops her and he's like, that kiss, it didn't mean, and doesn't say anything. And she doesn't interrupt. She's waiting for him to say his sentence. But in her mind, she's already like, yeah, like, obviously he was, I don't know, he's just kissing me just to kiss me. He doesn't care. But then she was like, she said this sentence so cute. She's like, immediately I finished the sentence in my mind. I didn't mean it that way. Well, obviously, but then he shouldn't have done it, should he? It was like setting fire to a curtain and then wondering why the whole house burnt down. Isn't that cute? It's so cute. So chapter 2, the little gargoyle gets to her. I was so sad when she had to leave her first gargoyle friend, because they can't leave, like, the area or whatever. And then this one can fly. So, I mean, we don't know if he's a good gargoyle or a bad gargoyle or what kind of gargoyle, but like, she's got a little friend now. She just gotta make sure she doesn't talk in front of people, because then, they're gonna think she's crazy. But it's so cute. He was like, please, please, please talk to me. It's so sweet. So far in chapter 2, Gideon told her not to tell the complete truth until they know what to do, because they don't want to, I don't know, get anybody angry, I guess. But he said, let me do the talking and, just follow along. So hopefully that they won't get caught. And then they still have to go and get the aunt's blood. And maybe she gets to meet her parents again. We'll see. But hopefully it all goes smoothly. We'll see. I love this little gargoyle, little demon gargoyle, whatever. She's like trying to get rid of him because she doesn't want people to think she's crazy and end up in a mental hospital. And she's like, let me just read it. I may be able to see you. That's just my bad luck, but it doesn't mean you have any claim on my company. And he says, but you have a claim on mine. You're lucky. He's so cute. He's so sweet. So Mr. George comes up and he's like, oh, you guys made it safe. Like, I'm so happy. How'd it go? And she's like, we had some problems. And Gideon's like, with his eyes, he's like, shut up. I told you not to say, like, with timing, we just a little hiccup, really, honestly. Try to smooth it over. Okay, this is exactly what I mean. At the end of chapter 6, one of her school friends comes up to her and asks her if she wants to end up like her cousin who's anorexic and in the hospital. And she's like, no. And she's like, okay, eat this. And she gave her a candy. And she's unwrapping it. And she takes it back and she's like, are you really going to eat it? So you're not on a starvation diet? And she says, no. And then the friend says, then Charlotte, the cousin, this is Charlotte, I swear, bro. I swear. Then Charlotte was lying. She said you kept skipping lunch because you want to be as thin as her. And then she took the candy back. She's like, you're not anorexic, so, like, you don't need it. But, like, her cousin is horrible. She's so rude. Oh, my goodness. So, Raphael, Gideon's brother, is coming to their school now. They moved back. His mom and stepdad moved back. So Raphael is coming to the school. The family's all together, looking at Leslie some type of way. Gwen's best friend. I'm super excited. I love it when this happens. It's my favorite. It's so cute. So this is the way I'm picturing it, right? So it says that the principal is talking to this boy. He does a slow turn. You know what I'm talking about. And then the girls are like, oh my God, right? And the principal introduces the girls to him and he just locks eyes. That's the way I'm picturing it. He just locks eyes on Leslie. And so they're introducing each other. They're introducing themselves. And he's like, they're asking him how come he had to switch schools in the middle of the school year. And he's like, you know, like trying to tell him a little bit. And the teacher's like, okay. They're like cutting him off. And he'll see you guys Monday. And again, the way I'm thinking, he like maybe looked a little bit at the group and then locked eyes again on Leslie and then said, see you Monday. Girl. Oh my God, they're gonna get married. I think she's a little worried. She's gonna check in with her friend. She's like, how come you look as if the bus had run over your foot? Like, she's like, you know? And she's like, wait until I tell you who that is. So excited. Look at them gossiping. I love it. I don't really know. I'm hoping Mr. Marley, the limousine driver, is of age. I'm thinking he is. I think he has a crush on Charlotte. And God, I hope she looks his way. I really do. I really do. But she's going to be hella annoying right now. Because, you know, Gwen has to, like, tell Leslie, her best friend, about Gideon and his brother. And so they're gossiping right now. So it takes a little time. She's a little bit late to being picked up. Charlotte's annoyed. Yada, yada, yada. Honestly, I feel like she should have waited longer now because Charlotte's pissing me off. Chapter 7, she gets in the limo and Charlotte's acting like she knows something. She doesn't know anything. She's being so rude. And she's like telling her like, you're embarrassing me because you're so bad at this. And so Gwyneth calls her out and is like, no, you love seeing me. Like, you purposely pick on me. Like, stop lying. And she's like, no, you're just a child. That's how children think. Oh, she makes me so mad. I swear, she makes me so mad. I don't know where the quote is or where it's from or what. But there was this saying, this quote that was basically like, when you give someone information or when you're teaching them something, to be gentle because you're changing their perspective of mind. Like, you're changing something that they thought was true. That really got to me because I'm like, yeah, if someone thought or grew up thinking this was the right way their whole life, Like, that's going to be hard for them, you know? They're going to want to defend that. And you should both be respectful in that conversation. And she's not respectful. I also think it's really hard. I feel like we're like born with this need to be right, you know? And that like pride takes away from your experiences with people, with the world. Like, it really hurts you in the end. Sometimes you just gotta be quiet. You know what I mean? Like, you don't gotta prove you're right. And Charlotte is so rude when she's trying to prove that she's right. Anyways, I got sidetracked. So, what's the little demon called? The statue demon? What's his name? Zimmerus? Something like that, right? Zimmerus, yeah. So he tells Gwyneth what Charlotte heard when she got to the limousine before her. And she's like, she doesn't really know anything. It was very cryptic. Like, they didn't give her any details. She's just blowing hot air. I don't know. And he's like, but I did find out that he got hurt in his last jump. Somebody hit him over the head and he was bleeding. And so now Gwyneth is worried because her boyfriend could have died. And he's like, don't freak out too much. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go and find out. Everything's gonna be chill. And it turns out I don't want to say fine, but he's okay. He didn't even get a concussion. It sounds like he did get a scar though, but like the head bleeds a lot, you know what I mean? I don't know. It sounds like he's okay. This is gonna be my last Charlotte talk. This is gonna be it, because I'm sick of her. But listen to this, okay? Nobody knows that Gwen knows, because no one else can see Zimmerus or hear him. So they don't know that she knows that Gideon, the diamond, they keep calling him, got hurt. So somebody steps in, Mr. George, it says. I don't remember who that is. But somebody steps in and says, no, they're having a bad day today. And then Charlotte says, how is he doing? Quietly. And then glances at her cousin, Gwen. And that's it. That's all she says. And Mr. George says, as you might expect in the circumstance. What's with the secret? Why is that such a big secret? Why can't she know that? That's so rude. Once again, Charlotte casts me a brief searching glance. And I'm 100% with Gwen on this. I feel like it does give her some kind of sick satisfaction to know something I didn't know. I do. I really do. And I don't think it's just me relating to the main character. Honestly, I don't. He's a jerk. And now everybody, all they're really worried about is that did they take his blood? Because they need it for the chronograph thing. For the one in the past. Yeah. Rude. If I was him, if I was Gideon, I'd be like, well, what about me? They'd be like, oh, do you know if they pricked you? Do you know if they took your blood? I'm like, I have a gash on my head. I'm literally dying. This is what you're gonna ask me? I'm literally dying. Obviously, I wasn't dying. If I was Gideon, obviously he didn't die. But I was literally dying. They don't know. I mean, now they know, but they didn't know when they asked. Okay, so she finally gets to jump on her own and go and talk to her grandfather. I'm so excited. I've been waiting forever, I feel like. Like, it's been so long for him. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. He's so cute. He's so excited to see her. Look, you can't see. You know what I mean. He's telling her that, you know, he has a baby now. His first baby. Of course she knows like who that is, but still. And he's like, I'm so happy I married Arista, your grandmother. And like, and they talk, and I'm so happy I didn't choose the other one. Like, I love her, and obviously you do. Let's go to the corner and get some coffee. Ugh, he's so cute. I'm so happy they have more time together. That's so sweet. And he takes her to the cafe because he's like, last time you were hungry. He's the best grandpa ever. So grandpa's telling her that Lucy and Paul went back in time and stole the chronograph, the first one, because of him. And she's like, what? And she's like, well, yeah, well, it wasn't really like my fault, but it was my fault. And so what happened was that they jumped and he was guarding them. And he had an idea and he was like, let's see if we can make you jump again because we have a chronograph. And so they went even further back in time. But they jumped before the lodge or the club was made. So, gosh darn it, I'm really bad with names, bro. So he was letting them go back in time way before they were supposed to go. And they would just have a good time because they weren't allowed to date. So only those three and Grace, Gwen's mom, the one that raised her, know that they're dating. So those four. And so they would go and they'd have a good time. They'd watch movies. Not movies. They went to the theater. And that's where they saw Count Saint Germain, the great-great-grandfather, whatever. Is he a grandfather? I can't remember. But they saw the one that made the Guardians. They saw him murder someone. So at the very beginning in the first book, that's what she's realizing right now. And they were in a jump they weren't supposed to be. That's the only reason they saw it. Because when he made the Guardians, Count Saint Germain, he doesn't allow anyone to go past a certain date. And he didn't kill just anyone. He killed the first jumper. The first one in the family, in those 3 families? I don't remember anymore. But he killed the first jumper that they knew of. And he killed him 5 years before he was supposed to die. So the original records show that he was supposed to die 1607. And then there are new notes that contradict and say that he died in his coach in 1602 with his throat slit. And that was his family member. His name was Lancelot. He did not care. They're about to get caught. Like, they're still at the cafe. It's just getting juicy, so you know they're about to get caught. And here comes in Grandpa's boss. Great. So they don't get, the 3 hours or whatever hours of her jump. They were supposed to get just together. But it was still nice. It's nice that she got to see him. He has to jump back. So he takes her back. They're trying to speak as fast as they can. Their words are rushed. And she's like trying to get information, but also telling him, she loves him. And trying to give him advice. Don't smoke. Shave off your mustache. And he's trying to respond and answer her questions. And, don't you like the mustache? And Lucy, da-da-da-da. And then she jumps back right in front of Mr. George. Right in front of him. And he's like, next time we'll give you chalk because you have to remember where you jumped back just in case, you could have landed on me, Or she could have landed, on top of something dangerous. Who knows? What if she was at the edge of the table and the table, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying. Oh my God. So they were smoking around her. So she comes back, she jumps back. Nobody notices except for Gideon. I swear that kid, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, Gideon. And sometimes I'm like, get your act together, bro. Get it together. He's like, why does she smell like smoke? Bro, why are you giving away her secrets? Whose side are you on? Why are you giving away your secrets? So then she was like, because I smoke. You smoke? I don't even know if I would have come up with that. She's so smart. So now she's going to get in trouble for smoking instead of getting caught. For talking to her grandfather. So she goes, Gwyneth finally can go home. She's crying to Leslie because Gideon is being mean and she's like, he doesn't love me, And the butler, Mr. Bernard the butler, remember that, comes in and he's like, I found what you were looking for in the library. And it's a book called The Green Rider. And Leslie's like, no, I saw the book in the public library and it didn't have anything special. It's not any part of the clues. And he's like, well, this one belonged to Gwen's grandfather. So they open it up, and lo and behold, it has a whole bunch of numbers, a paper with a whole bunch of numbers on it. So now Leslie thinks it's a code. I think it's a code. And let's see if they can figure it out. Mr. Marley is the sweetest thing. I swear. They don't give him enough screen time. Okay? We need more. Simmers is so cute. So, she's doing her outfit fitting, you know, for the ball or whatever. Soiree. And Gideon was supposed to be there too, so he could do his fitting. And he didn't come. He was talking to Charlotte upstairs. So Zimris went up and he's like, do you want me to go keep an eye on them? Because right now he was flirting with your cousin. And she's like, yeah, please keep an eye on them. Like, but she can't say it because she's in front of Madame. She's such a sweet person too. What's her name? I love her so much. Her and Mr. Marley, like Madame Rosini. She's adorable. I love her. And she's like, yeah, go keep an eye on him. So he went off and he came back and he's like, like I was gonna warn you, he's coming down to like send you off, or maybe he's gonna jump with her. I don't know. He doesn't know for sure yet. But he's like, I was following your cousin and apparently she's on babysitting duties. She's gonna look after Gideon's brother and they're gonna go to the movies. And he's just giving her the gossip she needs in her soul right now. So cute. I love him. And Gideon's just glaring at her. Gideon's glaring at Gwen because he knows something's up, because he's like, you smoke? You know what I mean? And he's still aligned with the Guardians. He doesn't know what's up. He doesn't know. But if he doesn't get a clue soon, divorce. He's like, you look nervous. Would you like a cigarette to calm your nerves? What was your favorite brand again? Gideon to her. And so she's just staring at him because she's like, she doesn't know what to say. He's being a jerk. And Zimris, nobody can hear him except for Gwen, right? But he still fights for her. He's so cute. He's like, leave her alone. Can't you see she's happy in love, bonehead? All because of you. This is your fault. He's like, leave my best friend alone. Love him. And Gideon's trying to jump with her, and he still hasn't gotten his outfit like measured. And Mr. George comes in and he's like, ¿Qué estás haciendo? You're supposed to be over there. And he's like, oh, well, I thought that this would be better. And he's like, who told you that? He's like, well, I was doing that myself. He's like, that's my job. You know what I mean? So he's trying to jump with her because he's like on her. You know what I mean? And he's arguing back and forth. And finally, he's like, okay, I'm going to go get my stuff measured. But then I'm jumping. The last time he jumped, he got that thing on his head. And so far, she hasn't done it. So I don't know how he's getting this information, or who's putting that information in his head, making him think that she's part of that. But he's going to have to get a clue. Because like I said, if he doesn't get it together, divorce. Okay. You think I'm exaggerating about Charlotte? I'm not. Listen to this, okay? Zimris was out snooping, okay? Let him do his thing. But this is what they were talking about. I'm just gonna read it for you. Charlotte. Gorgiano is terribly afraid that Gwyneth will get everything wrong tomorrow that she can get wrong. Gideon, pass the olive oil, please. Charlotte, politics, history, they're all a closed book to Gwyneth. She can't even remember the names. They go in one ear and straight out the other. She can't help it. Her brain doesn't have the capacity. It's stuffed with the names of boy bands and long casts of actors in soapy romantic films. Raphael, he's the brother of Gideon, don't forget. Gwyneth is your time-traveling cousin, right? I saw her yesterday in school. Wasn't she the one with the long dark hair and blue eyes? Charlotte, the cousin. Yes. And the birthmark on her temple, the one that looks like a little banana? Gideon, like a little crescent moon. That's the way I imagine it. She's complaining and he's like in his own little world, like thinking whatever, like eating whatever they're eating, and he's just whispers it under his breath. And then Raphael says, what's that friend of hers called? The blonde one with the freckles. Lily? I told you he was looking at our girl. But he needs to whip himself into shape too, I'm just saying. Charlotte, Leslie Hay. Rather brighter than Gwyneth, but she's a wonderful example of the way people get to look like their dogs. Hers is a shaggy golden retriever crossbreed called Birdie. Raphael, that's cute. Charlotte, you like dogs? Raphael, especially golden retriever crossbreeds with freckles. You know what I'm saying? So cute. And then Charlotte, I see. Well, you can try your luck. You won't find it particularly difficult. You see what I'm saying? And then it gets worse. Leslie gets through even more boys than Gwyneth. Bullshit on both accounts. And so rude. Gideon, really? How many boyfriends has Gwyneth had? And he's finally like perking up in the cover. Like he barely is talking. You know what I mean? And now he's interested, and she's like, oh, why does he want to know? Why does he want to know about my cousin? So then she says, oh my God, it's kind of embarrassing. I don't want to speak ill of her. It's just that she's not very discriminating, particularly when she's had a drink. She's done the round of almost all the boys in our class. And the class above us. I guess I lost track at some point. I'd rather not repeat what they call her. Raphael, the school mattress. See what I mean? He's got shape up too. Raphael is not gonna cut it at this level. Gideon, pass the salt, please. So he's shutting down again. But Gwen told him that she was like that, and he was like, no. And see what I mean? Pissing me off sometimes. So Leslie is a real one for real. I love her so much. But at this point, Gwen wants to go murder her cousin. Who wouldn't? And she's like, no. She said, she reminded me that revenge is a dish best eaten cold. And she wouldn't agree when I said my motive wasn't revenge. It was pure murderous bloodlust. Then Leslie said that if Gideon and Raphael were even a quarter as bright as they were good looking, they wouldn't believe a word Charlotte said anyway. So sweet. I love her. She knows what's up. Leslie knows what's up. We're at chapter 10. So they're at the soiree now. And two debutantes, two ladies, super cute, have latched onto her and are just gossiping. Telling everybody's business. I love it. I was like, this is the best outcome. And the Count is there. He's talking to some guys. Gideon's talking to someone as well. And she keeps looking over because she's a little bit jealous. But like, she could be having a good time right now. It is a good time right now. When I saw the cover of these books with her like dress and like her going back in time, this is more of what I imagined. Gwen got a little drunk. They were giving her punch. She didn't know there was alcohol. So she's having a good time. Gideon's panicking a little bit. He can panic. She ended up singing Moonlight. He was impressed because she could actually sing. But that's not the point. That song's not even out yet. The Count is acting like they're friends. And he said that they met at a different time and put their differences aside. Lies. Pretty sure lies, because he's a liar. He's being nicer right now, but there's also like 1 billion people. There isn't 1 billion people, but like they're at the soiree. Obviously, he's not going to be mean right now. They've been waiting for Lord Alistair, and he finally comes, and there's a ghost with him, and the ghost has beef with Gwen. The ghost called her Demon with the Sapphire Eyes. You will soon be on your way to hell. What is his problem? Oh my gosh. So Lord Alistair and his men, the ghost, was when they first traveled, because she had because she shot the gun. But they was their guns, wasn't it? Their guns. Gideon bought the gun. Yeah. They're about to jump back to their own time. Gwen asked Gideon if her cousin told him that her and Leslie drank and were with the boys, and he's like, no, why would she say something like that? So either he's lying or Zimmer is lying. But why would he lie about that? Okay, they jump back a little bit not there yet. She forgets to do one eye, but it's okay. Her aunt, I think it was her aunt, reminded her to put mascara on her other eye. And Charlotte's in a good mood. Must be because she was with Gideon at his apartment after they jumped back through time, and he made him, Raphael, and her dinner. He made all three of them dinner. He kissed her on the cheek. So now Gwen is all upset. But it's the next day. Leslie's excited because today is Monday, which means Raphael is coming in to school today. So Raphael is leaning against the door. Leslie comes right up, introduces herself, and they're hitting it off. But then they go sit down, and Leslie's like, yeah, he's not my type. And Gwen's like, yeah, right, he's not your type. But listen, Leslie has a good head on her shoulders, okay? She doesn't want a little playboy, okay? She doesn't want a troublemaker. So we'll see how this goes. So the code that Leslie and Gwen couldn't figure out, I'm telling you, this kid is like, he wants Leslie, because Leslie's a catch. So he went over and he was like, what are you doing? And he saw the code. Apparently he knows about geo whatever, and apparently that's what it was. So now they have a location, and so now he's part of the group. I'm gonna try to get away from Charlotte because she's been babysitting him a lot better than when Charlotte was supposed to be babysitting Gwen. I was getting sick of Charlotte. You already know. Oh my god. Okay. You already know. I already know. We know. But he said he's about to declare his love. I wasn't ready. Okay, listen to this. He tried twice. This is the second time trying to, but he got he didn't get interrupted. You'll read it. You'll see what I'm saying. But this is the second time he's trying to declare his love, and look what he said. Because she interrupted him, he's like, just keep quiet for a moment. Would you have to pluck up all the courage to make you a declaration of love? I've had absolutely no practice in this kind of thing. And she's like, what? Then he says, Gwyneth, full name. I mean, he doesn't use the full name, but like full first name. Perfectly seriously, I've fallen in love with you. Okay, when Gwen says her stomach muscles contract as if she's had a shock. This author's fantastic. But it was joy. And she says, really? And he says, yes, really. In the light of the torch, I saw Gideon smile. I do realize we've known each other for less than a week. And at first I thought you were rather childish and I probably behaved badly to you. But you're terribly complicated. I never know what you'll do next. And in some ways you really are terrifyingly naive. Sometimes I just want to shake you. Let's get past this part, bro. And she's like, okay, I can see you're right about having no practice in making declarations of love. Yeah, I agree. Because we're going in the wrong direction right now. I need you to back, okay? And then he says, but then you're so amusing and clever and amazingly sweet. This is what I'm talking about, okay? This is what we need to hear. Oh, they're gonna go meet the Count, and they're walking over to him. And he says, I've just noticed that I made your declaration of love, but you didn't make one. And she's like, didn't I? And he's like, not in words, at least. And I'm not sure if anything else counts. Honestly, I see his point. Like, you gotta say it verbally. You gotta. You can't. Because then you're just assuming, and then they're gonna be like, well, I never said, you know? So I feel for him in this. I do. Okay, so they're in the office of the Count, And he has books of like demons and like spells and science all mixed together. And she opened one and a demon popped out. I don't know if they pop out for the count, but we already know homegirl can see ghosts and other things. So as soon as she closed the book, it went away. Pretty interesting. I think she should take it, honestly. I think she should take the book and just see what's up. Count sent Gideon off to go meet the widow that we see at the soiree. So he's all alone the Count is all alone with Gwen. And he's telling Gwen he gave Gideon advice about making a woman fall in love with him because women follow their hearts. And he said that it was such a shame that he spent all that time with Charlotte. So like, I really do think he likes her just because it's a story. If it was real life, dead to me. Real life, dead. You know? But I really wanted to end in a happy ending. Anyway, she's devastated. She is so sad. And I'm right there with you, girl. Whole world shattered. It's the end of their stay. She has to go back. Gideon is late. And when he does come, he's bloody. Like, he has blood all over his clothes. She's a little bit numb because she's, you know. Anyways, they take off. And he asks her, I don't even know what he asks her, but like it completely goes over her head. And then she finally is slowly asking him if it's true, if he purposely was trying to make her fall. At first he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he's like, listen, we gotta talk about this afterwards. We're about to jump. And she's like, just say yes or no. Just tell me right now. Just tell me. Tell me right now. Yes or no. He said yes. I'm just gonna read this page because I'm not gonna do it justice. I feel like you're not feeling what I'm feeling. Like I was there. Yes or no, I sobbed. Girl. Yes. But please stop crying, he says. That's Gideon. And for the second time that day, my heart, only this time, its second edition, the phantom heart that had grown out of sheer hope, fell over the precipice and smashed into 1,000 tiny little pieces at the bottom of the ravine. Remember, her aunt had that premonition that the lion pushed the ruby? There you go. She says, okay, that's really all I wanted to know. Thank you for being honest. He says, Gwen, I want to explain. And then he disappeared. As the chill came back into my body, I stared at the flickering torchlight, tried to suppress my tears, and then everything blurred before my eyes. So now she's jumping back in time. It took me a few seconds to get used to the light in the chronograph room of my own time, but I heard the alarm in Dr. White's voice and the sound of ripping fabric. It's nothing, said Gideon. Only a tiny cut. It hardly bled at all. I don't even need a plaster for it, Dr. White, and you can put those clamps away again. Nothing happened. Hello, haystack girl, said Simris. He does not know what happened. You'll never guess what we found out. Oh no, you haven't been crying again, have you? Mr. George took a hold of me with both hands and swung me around on my axis. She's not injured? I think it's because she's crying, so he's like making sure, yeah? She's not injured, he said with relief in his voice. Not injured, no, except for my heart. That's all. She didn't say it out loud, she's thinking it. Let's get out of here, said Simris. Bonehead's brother and your friend Leslie have something very interesting to tell you. Guess what? They tracked down the place described by the coordinates in the Green Rider Code. You'll never believe it. You'll never believe it. Gideon was looking at me as if he was afraid I might throw myself under the bus Might throw myself under the first bus to come along because of him. All because of him. I'm messing this up. I'm fine, I say without looking him in the eye. Mr. George, could you please take me upstairs? I have to go. It's urgent. Of course, Mr. George said. Gideon made a movement, but Dr. White was holding him. He's like, there's like a bed, and he's sitting on top of it like a gurney or something. Oh, keep still, for heaven's sake. He had torn the sleeves of Gideon's jacket, and the shirt was weighing under it right off. The bare arm was encrusted in blood, and I saw a small cut up almost all by Gideon's shoulder. The little ghost boy, Robert, was staring at all the blood in horror. Who did this? Well, it will have to be disinfected and stitched, said Dr. White gloomily. Certainly not, said Gideon. He was pale, and there was nothing left of the high spirits he shone back in the 18th century. We can see about this later. I have to talk to Gwyneth first. There's really no need, I said. I know all I want to know, and now I have to go home. I should think so, said Simris. He's very excited. He still doesn't know. Tomorrow is another day, Mr. George told Gideon, and he picked up the black scarf. And Gwyneth looks tired, and she has to go to school in the morning. Exactly, said Simris. And tonight, she's going on a treasure hunt. Or a hunt for whatever those coordinates lead us to. I love that Simris doesn't care that nobody else can hear him or see him. He's in the conversation anyways, you know? All that matters is that Gwen can hear him. Mr. George blindfolded me. The last thing I saw was Gideon's eyes looking unnaturally green in his pale face. Good night, everyone, I said, and then Mr. George led me out of the room. No one had answered me anyway, except for little Robert. And the chapter ends with this. Tonight, I was going to lie awake in mourning for my broken heart. I wanted to wallow in self-pity. And then the prologue. So when Gideon went to go see the lady while Gwen was talking to the Count, he saw her dad, Paul, her biological dad. And so he followed them, and it was a good thing because Paul was about to die from Lord Alistair's hand. So Gideon saved his father-in-law, and Paul gave him some letters. Hopefully the letters will show the secrets that the Count is keeping from everyone. It's getting so good. So good. I cannot wait for the next book, and it's the last book. I'm so sad.